All right, this is Dr. Xiong. We are going to eat at the Buchanan Buffet in Caesar Palace. I think this is probably rated #1 buffet on the Las Vegas Strip. It is definitely not a cheap place to go, and because of the popularity, my recommendation is make sure you reserve before you go there. I'll show you an example. If you were to reserve it on the day of the buffet, look at the line. 435 people in line. There's no way you're going to be able to get there. I'll choose a different day and try to see how busy this place is. But it's definitely not a good idea to just go there and wait in the line. You will never get it, even if you go there super early, because everybody are in line has already reserved ahead of time pretty much. So here, we choose a few days later. Look at this. 9:15 p.m., 8:45 p.m. That's like 2-3 days ahead of time. So my recommendation is you try to plan ahead of time and try to make the reservation as early as possible, so that way you can get at least a somewhat reasonable time to dine. And make sure you choose the right amount of people in your party, because they do check it. So we had 4 adults and 2 kids, and it costed us $433. And don't forget, you have to pay tips on top of that. We chose to pay the tips with cash on the table, but you can also pay it with a credit card too. So this is the front section of the buffet. All of those things are for display. You cannot eat any of those things. I think those are just to show you what they have. Look at this. This is a Jonas crab. Make sure you grab some of that on the seafood section, because we had that in Florida. It is not cheap for sure. So that's definitely a good thing to get. The crab leg, I think they do have the king crab leg, and the sea snails on the seafood section too. The king crab leg, they used to cut it in half, which make it much easier to eat. But nowadays they just give it to you as a whole. So the Jonas crab, at least they crack it a little bit for you, so it's a little bit easier for you to eat. I wish, but both of them are pretty fresh, which is good. But I wish they cut it for you. The crab claws, they also crack it for you, so it is not too bad for you to eat. The gigantic shrimp on the left side, oh, I don't recommend you take that. That is not very fresh at all. The sea snails is not bad. Overall, other seafood are pretty fresh. So this is the meat section and the grill section, basically. They have the beef ribs, brisket, they have the Kobe beef, they have the bacon, ham, all the good things. My recommendation is try to get the fatty portion, try to get the medium rare portion. Those are usually pretty tender. I think the Kobe beef is seasonal, so it may not be there all the time. But to be honest with you, my experience with the Kobe beef over there is not the greatest anyway. So, I won't, kill for that. Try their beef brisket, the fatty portion, and also try their prime rib is also very good. Well, this is they have their bone marrow and their lamb chop as well. So those things are all good. They have grilled oyster with cheese on top of it. This is the Mexican section with grilled corns. They do a pretty good presentation for sure. And they have tacos of various kind. Mexican pepper, tortilla chips. This is very nicely presented Mexican section. Very appetizing for sure. Chef is pretty friendly. You can chat with them, ask them questions regarding any kind of food. And they have turkey during the holiday meal, but I don't think turkey is there all the time. Most people don't get the turkey though. And obviously they have the cheese boards, various type of cured meat. They're actually very high quality, and all sorts of bread. but not very many people are getting it. As you can see, they're pretty full. And they have different salad and cold dishes around it. On this side is Asian section, roast pork. I think this is kind of Filipino style. But for some reason, they didn't have the crispy skin on top of it, which I was kind of disappointed. And they have the Korean wings and the chashu. And this is the Japanese section. Alright, we're at the Buchanan buffet. This is the Thanksgiving special dinner, so it is a little bit more expensive than the regular price. I think the regular price is somewhere around $60 for the dinner, right? I think right now it's around $80 per person. But they do consider this a gourmet dinner. So they do have oyster, and they have lobster claws. No lobster tails, but they have the claws. And they have the Jonas crab, which is pretty good, and very big frames. So we'll see how it is, okay?
Messy.
Making a mess already. Wow, look at this. The lobster is pretty fresh. A bit salty, but it's very fresh. Take a look at this oyster. Very good. Very fresh. Has a little bit of ocean taste. Perfect. All right. They have all sorts of ice creams that you can choose from. You do have to ask them to get it for you. One of the ice cream was infused with rum, which has a pretty strong alcohol flavor to it. And the dessert section, obviously all sorts of tasty dessert that you can pick and choose. One of them, two of them actually got flowers on top of it. I was kind of puzzled whether or not to eat the flower or not, but I was told those are all edible. One of the interesting dessert they have is you can actually, on top of dessert, they have a piece of flour. I was debating whether to eat it or not. I think this is edible. And I tried some. It doesn't really have that much flavor, but the flower is actually very pretty. It's very interesting.
Did you eat the flour? You ate it? You swallowed? Does it taste good?
Yeah, it tastes pretty good.
Does it taste like salad? Okay.
Very good.
I guess you can eat the flour.